From Berlin, we flew to Istanbul, and after a long layover, we finally took off to the Maldives at around 2 a.m. Here's us finally getting on the plane after an hour delay, my mom especially exhausted having just taken a melatonin for the overnight flight right before they announced the later departure. It wasn't the easiest flight we had, but it's hard to complain when you land and walk out of the airport to be immediately greeted by the stunning waters of the Maldives. We hopped on a live-aboard Dhoni Boat, which would be our home for our time in the Maldives. They were met our travel companions for the week, Dana and Cody. They were a Canadian couple who were on their honeymoon, and we also met Sham, who was our guide for the week. The first morning on the boat, we went for a snorkel. The water was incredibly warm, so much so that it felt almost like a bathtub. After swimming around for a while, we walked around this beautiful little island with the soft white sand and lots of little crabs running around. After walking around the island and snorkeling all day, we watched a beautiful sunset from the top deck of our Dhoni boat. The next day, we went to a snorkel spot called Turtle Reef, and it definitely lived up to its name because we saw a turtle swimming around there. I don't know how she spotted it because it blended in really well, but my mom also noticed this little baby lionfish. Sham took our GoPro a little closer and got this awesome shot of it, but we didn't dare go any closer ourselves since a sting from even a baby can be very painful and dangerous. After a day of snorkeling, we came back on board to find chocolate cake, coffee, and bananas put on the back deck hangout spot. To finish off the day, we enjoyed another stunning sunset, and to make it even better, we were the only boat anchored for miles around in the middle of the ocean. Then it was off to bed because we had to wake up really early the next morning. I'm not a morning person, so I was dreading the early rise, but once I saw what was waiting in the water the next day, I felt very awake and even a little bit scared. At around 7 a.m., we looked off the side of the boat to see dozens and dozens of nurse sharks swimming all around our boat. My mom went in the water first, and you can hear in this video just how calm she felt to be swimming in shark-infested waters. Soon after, the rest of us got in, and after a few minutes we all felt really calm. It was clear that the sharks had no interest in us, and we ended up staying in the water for about an hour. I have to say this was one of the most amazing things I've ever experienced. Seeing 1 or 2 sharks would have made my day, but there are probably 40 to 50 in total swimming all around us. For our second snorkel of the day, we swam around a shipwreck. next day, we said goodbye to the first Dhoni Boat and switched over to a second one that was a little bit bigger and nicer. The first one had to go pick up people for a surf trip, so we got a little upgrade. We set sail and ran into a large pod of about 40 dolphins. For a while, they were playing in the waves next to us, and a couple baby dolphins even jumped out of the water to show off some tricks. As if the day couldn't get any better, we spotted some giant manta rays a couple hours later and jumped into our swimsuits very quickly. After we found them in the water, we really only had to stay in one spot because they were doing laps around where we were swimming. On the way back to the boat, we came across this basketball-sized jellyfish that resembles an alien more than any creature on Earth. In the evening, the crew let us do some fishing off the back of the boat. The next morning, we went out snorkeling again. Jack and I stayed back on the boat for snorkel number 2 of the day, while Mom, Dad, Cody, and Dana joined Sham. Jack was able to get this really cool drone footage of them from above, as well as this large school of yellow fish. The sunset from the boat was, of course, as stunning as ever. The next morning was our last full day on the Dhoni Boat, and we woke up to stormy weather. My parents decided to go on the daily snorkel anyway and saw a lot of stingrays. The next morning, we said a bittersweet goodbye to Cody, Dana, and Sham, who we all got closer to after spending every day with them for a week. It was really hard to say goodbye to such a gorgeous place and great new friends, but luckily we had turkey to look forward to. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you next time.